So I assure you that the story I'm about to tell is not true. It didn't happen. Um, my therapist explained that sometimes we experience memories that are so unpleasant that our brain replaces those memories. And it might be like movie footage or a book or something of a combination of the thing. It's a fabricated fantasy that my mind provides to protect me from the reality. Except I could remember so much, and I wonder if it's fabricated, how can I know it? I remember working at a Bonobos happiness facility, the PDX branch. I remember aspects of the job. I remember the smell of an electric train powered by diesel. I remember how you open the driver compartment door if you've locked the keys inside. One person flexes the door in the middle while they pull on the handle, and you flex the wall to the left of the lock, and the metal bends outwards and the lock pops open and you could get in again. You don't have to go get the master key from your supervisor because your supervisor doesn't like that. How do I know that? Well, my therapist says that I shouldn't try to focus on those questions. I should try to focus on moving on, or on what really happened, which is I worked at a care facility for the elderly and the sick, and because older people have a lowered immune system, they're susceptible to viruses and things like that. Sometimes those could spread, and that could lead to kind of a mini pandemic, which led to me getting sick, but also evidently to me feeling a responsibility for what happened. And thus my mind protects myself from that reality by remembering getting bit by a Bonobos. I'd look Bonobos up. I remember what they are. I remember great-grandfather, and how when he passed away everybody was amazed at the age he reached. Surpassed any other Bonobos living in captivity. I remember the sweater we knitted for him because he was cold all the time. I remember after he passed away, and somehow he bit me, which doesn't make any sense. And that's why my therapist says that it's like a kind of a mirage, a conglomeration of things that seem similar to others, like the shimmering off a desert floor seems like, from a distance, seems like water. You remember something, it's something that's similar to, like a zombie film where the dead come back to life. Except I remember him arriving in the morgue truck. I remember him seemingly having some sort of convulsion, and it looked like he came back to life, and it looked like that he bit me, and I have the mark on me still. I guess what brought forth a lot of these memories isn't unlocking the doors to the trains or remembering the sweater for old great-grandfather, but it was seeing the CDC on the news, and I immediately knew who they were. I felt like I'd seen them before. I remember being trapped underground. I remember there was bonobos everywhere, and there was no other people. and there was things that were burning, just like that low haze of burning plastic in the ceiling, and how you had to stay close to the ground and literally breathe off the floor, and how I had dirt on my lips. And I remember working my way up to one of the few offices I knew had an outdoor window. And I remember breaking the window, and I remember there being a crowd outside. And I remember dropping out that window onto a car, and I remember I didn't feel a thing. I hit it like, it felt like a trampoline, as the part of the passenger part of the car just collapsed underneath my feet, and I sprang right off it like it was a trampoline. Made it halfway to the door, the access tunnel to the train section. And I remember seeing the CDC, and I remember hearing metal canisters hit and spin and hiss by my feet, and I remember holding up the electric key card, and I was going to open the door and let out the bonobos, and I don't know why. And I remember not being able to see, and I remember I couldn't find the keypad anymore, and I remember choking, and I remember the smell of tear gas. How can I remember that if it didn't happen?